Well, hello everybody. This is going to be a short video of how to replace the base antenna on a 2014 CRV. As you see on this particular vehicle, the antenna was mysteriously tore off the car. So without further ado, let's tear into this, and I could show you how to fix this without going through all the research that I had to do. Hopefully this will be helpful to you all. As you can see on the left is the new antenna and the base unit, and to the right are the tools you'll need. You have a small thin blade flathead screwdriver, one Phillips head, and a 13mm socket. Okay, the first thing we have to do is remove this cover plate, which is for the hook for baby seats, and we have to remove this light cover, which is what we're going to use a flathead screwdriver for. So right in this area is a little notch, which you can get the screwdriver in there and start getting, oops, just popped it back in. Start getting this this plate off, this cover, and once you get it off, you can just get in there with your fingers and take it off. Now, the next thing we have to do is here and over here is take off these two Phillips head screws. So I'll pause the video here and take these screws off and start back up here momentarily. Okay, as you can see, I got the Phillips head screws out. So we'll come over here and we'll just gently pull down on the liner and start pulling this down. And now we'll come around to the outside here and continue to pull this down. Now right here you got you can see that this green thing, yeah, we've got to pull that out from its hole. And then down over here you got these red clamps too, so with a little bit of effort you pull these out. Now a little lesson learned for me was, when you get this out, take this out and set it to the side, because earlier when I was doing my exploratory of this vehicle, this fell out and dropped way down in there, so I had to go out and buy an aftermarket piece, which I'll show you later. But just a lesson learned that I just to take that, put it to the side. Now we'll continue to pull down on this headliner, and again pull out from this side too. Okay, the video was kind of interrupted by a phone call there, but anyhow, again, when you pull this out, take this red piece out and set it to the side so you don't lose it like I did. Again, continuing to pull down these headliners. Now you have to reach in here, start reaching in here and start finding, pulling down the headliner gently, and eventually after a little bit of effort, you will see the antenna base. Right here is a 17mm socket, which we will loosen up here with the ratchet. And what I did before is I just gave this like a half a turn, and then I just took the rest of it off with my fingers. So I'll get up here with the ratchet and I'll just give this like a half a turn. It's a little hard to do this, like holding a camera and trying to turn this at the same time. feels like it's loose enough now. Ratchet out of the way, and we should be able to take the rest of this off by hand. And be careful not to lose the nut, because I didn't buy another one, so I'm going to need this to put the new unit back in. Now, over to the side here. Okay, I'm back here. Okay, like I said earlier, there is the first clamp right there. You can see that one. And then way back in there is the second. It took, over to the side here, it took me a while to find these, but you do have two clamps. I can dig these out again. You have, there's one, and let's see if I can find the other one here. Let me pause this and I'll find it in a second here and come back to you. Kind of maneuvered the clamp so maybe you get a little better view of it, but the wires keep getting in the way here. Kind of difficult to hold a camera and do this at the same time. But there's the clamp, like way back there. You can see it. And what we're going to do is disconnect these clamps. And of course, this one's a little bit more difficult to get to. So I'm just going to have to set down the camera here shortly. But on the side here is a little, almost like a little lever. You got to pull it up with your nail, and that clamp should come apart. And this one here, you got the little tab here on top that you got to pull up, and that comes apart. So I'll take these clamps off and come back to you. Okay, folks, I was able to remove the two clamps. I already installed the new base. The old base just simply pulled out. I pulled out the wires, fished them through, and now I'm just going to reattach these clamps, and then I'll come back over here and put the nut in on the new assembly. You can see here the new base is in, and then we'll come back and button this all up. Okay, as you can see, I got the clamps reinstalled. Now I'm going to take this nut and reach it up in there, if you can see it now, and I'm going to hand tighten the nut onto the new assembly here, the new base, and tighten everything back up. And then after I do that, I'll come back to you and show you how to put all this back together. Okay, folks, now we have to get this all put back together. So finding these green doodads here, you have to make sure that they hit those holes here, and just get everything buttoned back up. Just give it a little tap there, and there's another one on this side. Same thing. If you can see it, you just get it in the hole and just give it a, just a little tap. Doesn't take much. You don't have to punch it or anything, just real gently. And then we want to get this all tucked back in. So you just run your finger around the rubber seal here, and that goes back in real nicely, as you can see. Now, remember these little red doodads? You want to get back in here and gently, if you can see that, gently slide it back in there without dropping it into the abyss down there. And of course I gotta get that little wire out of the way. Line up the hole again, the red piece with the hole, and then once you Kind of hard to do it with one hand and holding the camera here. Once you get that lined up, again, you give it a nice little tap, and there we go. And it should go right back together. For some reason this one is, oh, wait a minute, the clamp's still on the way. I gotta tuck that way back there. Okay, it should go together now. Alright, line up the hole. There we go. Perfect. As you can see that, and then you again do the little seal there and get that all fixed up, and see, that side's done. Now this side, as I told you, I lost one of the red pieces, so what I had to do is go out and buy some aftermarket pieces. It only cost me like $3 at a parts store. And so we're going to see how well this works. Again, oops, and I just dropped that one down into the abyss. That's what I'm warning you about on those red ones. Because once you drop them down there, without taking the car apart, they're gone. So then again, there is the thing there, and it's kind of hard to do it with one hand, so I'm going to pause this again, put this in so I don't drop another one, and come back. Okay, just to show you something on these aftermarket pieces, as you can see, they're kind of have that little L in there. I don't know if you can, if I can focus in on this. There it is. I think you saw it there momentarily. And so you got to put that L part in first, and it, not perfectly, but it goes in there. And now, of course, since this is a little longer, it's easier to line up the hole. And again, like the other side, you get everything lined up. Of course, there's another one down here we got to line up. Okay. And once you get them lined up into the hole, then you can kind of tap everything in there, and boom, there it is. It worked pretty nicely. Again, straighten out the rubber. Just run your finger all the way down. And as you can see, it doesn't even look like, you know, anything was ever worked on. So next thing is we got to get this light back in. As you recall, it came out with 2 screws. So we'll just get everything tucked back in there again. And once I get that tucked back in, I'll come back at you. Okay, I got the light back in place. I haven't put the screws back in, but that's a no-brainer. And then once I get the screws in, put the cap back on, and then put this baby seat cover hook thing back on, and that's pretty much it. Okay, here we are, folks. We got everything buttoned up. I got the baby seat cover thing back in, the lights all back in, and as you can see, it doesn't even look like anything was ever worked on. You can see the seals all back in place. Now the last thing we have to do is just put this little baby on, and then we'll go ahead and get that on, and let me get this out of the package and I'll come right back to you here. Okay folks, I got the final antenna out of the package, and of course this just goes right on here and it screws on. And the final thing to do is to go inside the car and test the radio and make sure everything works. Okay folks, I pulled the car out of the garage so everything will work. So I'm going to turn it on now, and here comes the test. First, I believe the radio will probably come on. I think that's the last thing we listened to yet. There it is. There's a radio station. And it appears that the radio works. So now let's try to do XM. And voila! There's the XM. And there's radio. So it looks like this project was a success. I hope this video is helpful. And God bless you all and good day.